From 4 to 6 months of age, the infant has now become a small child. During this time, the weight doubles from birth, and all the experiences gained make your child more competent every day. Social interaction improves and your baby prepares for more complex and obvious movements that I will show you in this video. In fact, the first year of your baby's life is a once-in-a-lifetime period of psychophysical growth. In just 1 year, your baby goes from barely supporting his or her little head to walking independently. A developmental journey I call from zero to hero, that is, from zero-day infant to little walking hero. In just 12 months, your baby should reach many key psychomotor developmental milestones. And every parent has the opportunity to help their child develop to the fullest. In this video, I will show you what the major psychomotor developmental milestones are for your baby from 4 to 6 months of age and how to foster his or her development. I will also give you the red flags reported by well-known American pediatric associations that may hint at a delay of the child's development during this period. Before we get into the heart of the topic, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr-Silva, and I am a neonatal osteopath and founder of Iule, a pediatric maternal infant center in the province of Monza and Brianza, in which I collaborate closely with all the main health figures in the field, such as pediatricians and midwives, visiting only newborns from their first days of life. You can find me online in this YouTube channel, which I highly recommend you subscribe to in order to stay updated on all new videos, on Instagram under the name Osteopath Silva Matteo, and especially on my website matosilvaosteopata.com, where you will find hundreds of contents and video courses to promote the best psychomotor development of your child, from birth to independent walking, created by me, but not only, pediatrician, speech therapist, neuropsychologist, midwife, and many other professionals. I'll leave you the link in the description. Now, let's cut to the chase. Let's see what the progress of your baby's psychomotor development is from 4 to 6 months of age. But before we do that, I'll explain what is meant by psychomotor development. If you already know what it is, you can go ahead a minute with the video. Now I will tell you what psychomotor development of the infant is. The term psychomotor development means a comprehensive growth process of the child that takes into account both physical and motor development, but also cognitive, social, emotional, language development, and communication. To facilitate the parent's task of observation, we will divide psychomotor development into several sections that include motor construal development, social emotional development, language development, and communication and cognitive development. This also explains why on my site you will find video courses to promote the best psychomotor development of the child. Created in close collaboration by me, the pediatrician, speech therapist, neuropsychologist, and all other professionals in the field. I will talk to you about motor postural development and how to successfully reach all the major developmental milestones. My other colleagues will show you how to foster language development, cognitive development, and social relational development, and so much more. Now let's talk about physical and motor development from 4 to 6 months of age. As your baby continues rapid physical growth, the curves of his spine begin to develop through motor activities on the mat. From the first months of life, but even at this age, you can massage your baby's feet, legs, and back to accompany him in optimal postural development. For example, osteomassages are fantastic and act on your baby's muscles and help him develop functional spinal curves from the first months of life. In any case, after the first few months of settling in, your baby should have become the king of the playmat. He should be perfectly in the prone position, alternating it easily with supine. So here are the motor skills and milestones you should observe in a baby's motor development from 4 to 6 months of age. The baby learns to roll from supine to prone and probably also from prone to supine. The baby learns to rotate on himself and pivot, that is, clockwise, while he remains prone on the mat. When on his stomach, the child goes from supporting himself on his elbows to supporting himself with open hands by raising his trunk and torso higher and higher. Also, the baby is not capable of sitting up on his own, and I do not recommend at all that you use pillows to sit him up and train him to sit up. It is counterproductive and risks worsening his motor and postural development. Also, from 4 to 6 months, if your baby is held, he will often try to perhaps stand on your legs. And if supported, maybe jumps. Again, however, I do not recommend placing the child standing for too long because he is not yet ready and risks compromising proper motor development. Before concluding the chapter on motor development, I want to remind you that these months are crucial in ensuring that your little one has proper motor and postural development. Many children, due to a lack of motor stimulation or due to incorrect postures unknowingly practiced by their parents, see the incorrect use of the sitting position, miss important motor milestones such as stunting, crawling, and will walk late with difficulty perhaps. Every parent, you yourself have the opportunity to ensure perfect motor development and postural development of your child, from birth to independent walking with the correct activities month after month.
That's why in the video course, From Zero to Hero, I show you practically with hundreds of explanatory videos.
How to help your child reach all the major developmental milestones. Now let's move on to talk about cognitive development from 4 to 6 months of age. Here is what you will observe in the child's cognitive development at this age. The baby becomes more and more competent and can tell whether he is happy or sad by his facial expressions, but not only that. The child responds to the parent's love and positive gestures, looks at you attentively, smiles, and is able to show more complex facial expressions. From 4 to 6 months of age, your baby should learn to move his arms in a coordinated manner and to voluntarily shake objects, whether supine or prone. By this age, your baby has developed good eyesight, is beginning to see in color, and is focusing better and further away. As a result, he looks at your face much more closely and understands who you are. Recognizes familiar people and objects even at a distance of a few meters. As for language and communication development, here is what to observe. In the development of the child from 4 to 6 months, the baby learns to make the first vocalizations, that is, verbal productions with only vowels, such as A, mainly emitted almost unintentionally, say. In this period, the social smile appears, that is, the ability of the infant to respond to the adult's smile by smiling in turn. The child begins to have alternating communication with his or her parents, i.e., a turn-taking having shifts. Shifts. Mom talks to him, he responds. Around 6 months, the baby may sketch the first marginal lalazione, which are coordinated movements of lips and tongue that produce sounds that approximate the characteristics of consonants. The baby learns to recognize when it is called by name. The child makes the sounds to show joy and amusement or displeasure, perhaps boredom. Now let's look at what your child's social and emotional skills are. In the age range of 4 to 6 months, here is what you might observe. The baby recognizes familiar faces. The child recognizes whether someone is strange to him accordingly. The child likes to play with the parent, but he willingly accepts to play with other people as well if he is used to doing so, perhaps previously. The child responds to the emanations of people who interact with him. He often shows happiness, looks carefully at himself in the mirror, an activity that can be proposed from the earliest months of life, and begins to understand his figure gradually, still not quite understanding who he is and whether it is him reflected. All of the skills mentioned so far and the related red flags, i.e., the alarm bells that I will tell you about in a moment, are taken from authoritative sources such as the CDC, then the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, then the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or from the American Academy of Pediatrics. These international associations recommend contacting your doctor. If your child is still struggling at this age to stay on his or her stomach and lift his or her head and torso, if he doesn't even try to reach for objects that are beside him, if he does not respond to sounds and voices that come to him, if he struggles to bring toys or anything else to his mouth, if he doesn't make vocalizations or other sounds at all, If he does not roll, perhaps either from supine to prone or vice versa, if the child seems to be very stiff and hold tense muscles, or if the child seems floppy, that is, you seem to lack muscle tone and strength. On my website, you will find a beautiful video comparing a child with normal psychomotor development with one with pathological development. I leave it for you in the link in the description, and it is a free video that you can also view on YouTube. With those words, we have come to the end of this informative video. It has truly been a pleasure creating this informative content for you, and I sincerely hope it can be of great help for the development of your beautiful child. If you enjoyed the video, I kindly ask you to leave a like to this video. It costs you nothing, but it is really worth a lot to me, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also see you in the next video, but especially on my Instagram page osteopath-lo-silva Matteo, and on my website matteosilvasteopata.com, where you will be able to find dozens of insights and video courses recorded by me, the pediatrician, sleep consultant, midwife, speech therapist, and neuropsychologist that will show you how to foster the best development of your child from pregnancy through the first year of life. See you soon.